Welcome back, YouTubers, to another NXT review with me, Mr. Parkin, on behalf of the British Fist. I think I made it very obvious last week in my critique of the two shows that I saw that I really didn't enjoy the shows too much. Number one, because the shows, in my opinion, just weren't very entertaining and had way too many short matches and other such things in them. And number two, and most importantly, it just seemed like so many characters in NXT had little or zero direction, and there wasn't really too many storylines going on in there. But this week was a little bit better. We did actually get a little bit of direction for some of the characters and some matches that we may get in the future at potentially the December takeover show that they'll no doubt be doing. And we also got some storyline continuance here as well, which was desperately needed. If you have any comments on the show or anything that's happened in NXT lately, please let me know down in the comment section below, please. So to open the show, we have a 5-team Battle Royal match to determine the #1 contenders to the Lucha Dragons NXT Tag Team Championships. This match involved Team Soft, of course, Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore, Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger, Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, the Vaudevillains and the Ascension. And you really had to know here with the Ascension being, in a feud with Hideo Itami and the Vaudevillains being on a real good run right now, and the other three tag teams really not picking up anything in the W column lately. You really had to know here that the Vaudevillains were going to win and become the #1 contenders. I mean, this has been pretty obvious for some time. They've been the tag team who have been the most built, who are actually involved, in the tag team division right now. The Ascension are in their own little feud. And this was okay. This #1 contendership battle royal was nothing special, but it was okay. But the point was, it gave us some fucking direction, which previous shows haven't really done with the tag team division, so thank God for that. And it was interesting here, the Vaudevillains, you now know they're heel. Not only have they got even more heelish music, it sounds a little bit of a remix of William Regal's theme back in the day, but they won in a heel way. They came in the ring, and took out the Ascension, when the Ascension, I guess, thought they had the match won, and they were distracted by Hideo Itami. I'm just going to go on record in here and say, although this obviously continued the storyline, I don't care what you say, I fucking hate these distraction finishes. So the music comes... look at this from a real-life perspective. Some music comes on the Titantron, but you're in a match to get the #1 contention. Which is more important? Gawpingly staring at the guy on the ramp or concentrating on what the fuck is going on in the ring? I'm sorry. I understand this is done and scripted to continue storylines, but from a fucking reality standpoint, if you're a casual fan, you're just thinking to yourself, well, what fucking dumbasses are these guys? I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about distraction finishes. But at least this is something that gives some characters on NXT some definite direction in the tag team division. And I'm going to quickly address what they did with Hideo Itami and the Ascension. Once again, they had Hideo Itami look stupid by trying to attack two men. I understand what they're trying to do here. I know they're trying to tell the story that Hideo Itami can't take both the Ascension members on his own, and he needs to get some kind of equalizer, which it looks like we'll be seeing next week, and I have a strong feeling I know it's going to be, and I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, So I understand the direction they're going, but once again, Hideo Itami just looks stupid. I don't know why he has to go into the war and get beaten down so many times, 2-on-1, to realize he needs a tag team partner. Well, the maths should be there, Hideo. I don't know whether they teach you that in Japan. I'm just saying. Also, another point I want to pick up on here. Is it just fickle crowds, or is it WWE's ability to make a babyface incessantly boring when the heel team are getting goaded on by the crowd to do one more move on the babyface who's lying unconscious in the damn ring? Is that just fickle NXT crowds that just want heels, entertaining, badasses? Or is that WWE just straight off the bat making Hideo Itami a boring-ass babyface? I'll let you decide that in the comment section. The Vaudevillains in How Not to Play a Piano. Take it away, boys. So in only a second match on NXT, Carmella already gets to face Emma. It's a pretty big match for Carmella, it really is. And to be honest with you, sticking her in the deep end at this point was a little bit unrealistic in my opinion, seeing as, kayfabe-wise, she's only really been in the WWE Performance Center for a couple of months, and she's already beating someone of the caliber of Emma, who was once a top babyface on NXT and actually made it to the WWE roster. If I was going to do this, I would have had Carmella beat someone a little bit lower down on the pecking order. Maybe even some kind of NXT Diva jobber, or maybe Alexa Bliss or something like that. I don't know. I just felt it's a little bit unrealistic that Carmella is already beating Emma when in kayfabe she's only been in the WWE and doing wrestling for about 2 months. So you're telling me a woman who's been wrestling and training for 2 months, unless she's a God-given natural, can defeat Emma, who's been a wrestler for years and years. I'm just pointing out the logic, that's all. But to be honest, Carmella, while she's still very green, and, they put her in there with the right female, which is probably why they put Emma in there, who's, quite a seasoned veteran in the wrestling world. So they put on a pretty decent match here from Carmella's standards. But like I said, she's very green in the ring. She's going to have to really train on her wrestling ability. But she's gotten that exuberant character nailed that generally they like to give to their divas, And like I said, from a kayfabe standpoint, she's learning pretty quickly considering she hasn't been in the WWE long kayfabe-wise. But at least Carmella has got some kind of presence, some kind of character. She's incredibly good looking, in my opinion. I just have one question, though. Is she going to be heel? I don't know. She didn't come out there with Cassidy and Enzo Amore, so I assume she's going to be her own character now, but she's using their mannerisms, which generally kind of get over as a babyface, in a babyface way. So I do wonder if she's going to be heel, or if she's going to be babyface down the line, because she kind of gives off the vibe of a heel. But I kind of feel that, given that she's been brought in by Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy, two of the most over baby faces on the roster, I do kind of think maybe they could make her a babyface first. I don't know. It just depends what direction WWE and what they really have planned for this Carmella character, which could gather steam. It really could. Justin Gabriel versus Bull Dempsey. Next! So NXT built up a little something with the Divas division for next week. It looks like they're teasing Bayley and Charlotte versus Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. That'll hopefully continue on the little storyline they've got going between Bayley, Sasha and Becky Lynch, while also hopefully giving us some direction for the NXT Women's Championship in the form of either probably Sasha Banks going against Charlotte for the NXT Women's Championship. So hopefully next week we'll get a good match between these four, and hopefully it will continue on some character development, some storyline, and also give us some direction as to who the new #1 contender is going to be to Charlotte's championship. I complained a lot last week about some of the short matches they had in quick succession on NXT and how it kind of ruined the flow of the show for me. And, while I'm not necessarily a fan of short matches, there are plenty of times in the wrestling world where short matches can actually have a better effect. Look at Baron Corbin defeating, I don't know who the fuck it was, some jobber. The crowd was counting the seconds it took until Baron Corbin won. I think they got to about 17, 18 seconds and then he got the victory. This kind of thing, along with his very, very well choreographed entrance now with the lights and everything, this shows that this character Baron Corbin has got right now is really getting over. And I'm pleased about this because, like I've said many times, Baron Corbin, in my opinion, represents something a little bit different in NXT, and I'm all for different stuff happening on the TV show. So Baron Corbin getting this push and the fact it's getting over, I couldn't be more pleased. I really couldn't, especially that finisher is still deadly. So they had Sylvester Lefort face Marcus Louis, and I guess the one reason they had this match was just for Marcus Louis to get his retribution on Sylvester Lefort. And I just think now Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy aren't there. I don't really see the point in these two being on TV. I know they put a little bit into the storyline with the hair versus hair thing, etc. But I stopped caring after Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy were out of this feud. I really did. So I talked a lot last week how I felt this Sami Zayn Road to Redemption storyline was a little bit stupid, mainly in the sense that he simply asked Adrian Neville for a title shot, and Adrian Neville just gave him a title shot. And this was really stupid in my opinion. It really made this Road to Redemption storyline just feel a bit void in my opinion, like it was kind of pointless and it was there for a week and now, now he's got what he wants, so what's the point in the Road to Redemption now? If they'd done this storyline and started it 6 to 12 months ago, then yeah, because he's worked his way up to it, then yeah, I guess that would have made sense. But this week, they kind of took a couple of steps forward into getting rid of that small detail, which really, in my opinion, wasn't even necessary. If you didn't have Adrian Neville even come out and cut that promo, the whole Road to Redemption storyline would have continued on really well this week, and, it would have finished off in a good way after Sami Zayn defeated Titus O'Neil this week, you know. But just having Sami Zayn last week go out there and ask for a title shot and Adrian Neville say, yeah, all right then, just made the whole Road to Redemption thing just feel a bit idiotic, you know. And like I said, on that basis, before they changed it, he then faced Titus O'Neil, who was another roadblock in his Road to Redemption, which was kind of pointless because he got the title shot that he wanted after asking Adrian Neville for it, you know. So you could have had such a simple storyline here. You know, you had Adrian Neville defeat Titus O'Neil. You had Sami Zayn lose to Titus O'Neil. You could have told the simple story. They didn't go with this in the end and fine, but you could have told a very simple story that Sami Zayn just couldn't beat the guy that Adrian Neville could beat, and therefore he doesn't deserve to go after the championship and face Adrian Neville in a one-on-one match. That would have been pretty simple in my opinion. But they went with Sami Zayn versus Titus O'Neil here, and it was a pretty, you know, good storyline. You know, not necessarily a great match, but these guys went out and told a pretty decent story in the ring, a typical David versus Goliath storyline. And you had Sami Zayn finally beating Titus O'Neil after losing to him 2 weeks ago. And I guess now Sami Zayn has won the big one. Only Titus O'Neil really isn't the big one, is he? You know, I understand that NXT are trying to portray this guy as a, you know, massive guy who's, you know, undefeatable apart from when he's facing Adrian Neville, who doesn't seem to fucking lose to anyone. And let's not forget that some weeks, months ago, Titus O'Neil was feuding with a bunny. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he was feuding with a bunny. So does that really make Titus O'Neil like a big obstacle? You know, from a booking standpoint? No, I don't really think it does. And like I said, I'm not criticising Sami Zayn. I love Sami Zayn. I think he's one of the best characters on NXT. I really do. But this whole thing, up until the next point, was kind of stupid. And there hadn't really been anything wrong with this mini feud. But, you know, like I said, if they're going to do a Road to Redemption angle, then have Zayn overcome the obstacle before getting to his end game. Which, again, was pretty stupid. But like I said, they changed it up this week, so they kind of got rid of the mistake they made with Adrian Neville just gifting Sami Zayn a title shot. They had Tyler Breeze come out there and say that you haven't beaten me yet, and so until you've beaten me, you can't be the #1 contender, and that William Regal has set up a #1 contenders match between Sami Zayn and Tyler Breeze next week for the #1 contendership. Even though he'd just been given a shot by the champion, which I don't know why this hasn't been taken into account here, but there you go. At least it's gone some way to change the stupidity of what they did a few weeks ago by having Adrian Neville just gift Sami Zayn a title shot and kind of ruin this Road to Redemption. But it's that one small detail which kind of ruins it for me, but at least they changed it up a little bit. So next week we're going to be getting Sami Zayn and Tyler Breeze for the #1 contendership, and I guess this will be the match where Sami Zayn gets his #1 contendership, which kind of already has, so he doesn't really need to be in this match, you know, I'm just saying. But at least it should be not just a good match, but hopefully put an end to this whole Road to Redemption storyline, which has been a little bit stupid from a booking standpoint. You know, I'm just saying. I thought this week's edition of NXT was a little bit better. You know, I still think this whole Road to Redemption thing was kind of stupid up until this week, but they took measures to try and change it up to, you know, something that kind of made a little bit of sense. I enjoyed seeing Carmella facing Emma. I'm glad that the tag team division has got some direction. We got direction with Hideo Itami's character, him needing a tag team partner. Hopefully some more for in the Divas division next week. Baron Corbin, once again, you know, is getting pretty fucking over, which is good. So this week was a lot better. I wouldn't say a lot better, but it was a little bit better and a little bit more enjoyable and gave us more direction than it did last week. You know, if you think what I'm saying is stupid, then please let me know down in the comment section below. But I'm just being honest with you guys. And I'm starting to get a little bit of a sore throat right now just from talking so damn much. So I'm going to leave it there and say thank you very much for watching. Any comments, comment down there. Goodbye.